Hi, friends. Host Derek here. I was talking to famous people, and unfortunately, the title's not clickbait. Uh, things are kind of rocky here between Rachel and me. I was in the house, and I decided I'd come out and see if she wanted to quote unquote live stream it out with me. So I guess I'll provide some of the backdrop here. Um, Last night after Thanksgiving dinner, I suggested we go out on a little adventure, which we did. And yes, you are Luis Tizon, as far as I can tell. Let me pop out the chat. Yeah, you have it. Oh, no. Wait, yes, you are first, I think. Wait, are you? Yes, you're first. Um, we went up into the mountains where the snow was, and I pushed it a little too far. I got pretty car sick on the way home. And also, there were times when we were up on this mountain roads where Rachel didn't feel safe. Um, I made some mistakes in my decision making last night, and I thought we could. We were more than halfway. I figured we'd get. I was trying to punch all the way through, but we couldn't. We hit a spot where the road was obviously too deep for me to get through. We had to turn around. It was kind of a fiasco on the way back. We both had a great time on the way up.
Yeah.
Then we got home, I was feeling car sick, so I couldn't go in and help my dad put me on the bed. He kind of freaked out about it. He was rather chagrined about having me freaked out about it.
It wasn't even, what you said wasn't even true because you had gone, you went several days before. It wasn't even true. It was like we told him that we were going to have dessert with him, and then we didn't show up ever after that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I told him that, but I may have intimated that. Regardless, he kind of freaked out. He knows he fucked up. He was chagrined. And it wasn't a long thing or anything. He barged in here, screamed at me. I was just like, well, I'm sick right now, so and he bailed. And this morning, he was all like, you know, let me hold the door for you, kind of thing. Anyway, regardless, um, this series of events prompted Rachel to have some serious doubts about the relationship. And last I checked before I went inside, I believe we were breaking up. So it's kind of gone back and forth a couple of times here. Rachel, do you want to comment on that at all?
I mean, it's I'm not just in this relationship with just you. I'm in it with your parents too. And maybe that's what I didn't consider.
Okay. Certainly, it's not something I guess I talked about with you a lot before you came here, because we were originally thought you were just coming here for a week.
Me too.
So, mm, I guess that's the long and the short of it, right? That
I didn't think so.
But being here with my parents turns out to be a deal breaker for you. Is that right?
I mean, it's difficult. I don't normally spend like I don't go to people's houses every day. Yeah, caretaker burnout. I do have caretaker burnout because I don't even take care of my own parents.
Okay, so let me establish a couple of baseline facts here. I don't really ask Rachel to do any caretaking. I do almost all of it myself. But she does spend some time with my parents, hanging out with my mom, chatting with her sometimes. And I guess that's emotionally draining on her.
Yeah, it is because I see what's going on. I mean, your mom had a huge blister on her foot. No one was saying anything about it. Not even the actual caretaker.
Rachel, you are slandering my family at this point when you're talking like that.
Okay.
The reality is, as soon as we found out about it, we talked about it, we tried to address it, and we took her to the doctor, and we took her to the doctor 2 days later. Meanwhile, note that whilst we were doing all this caretaking stuff, you were here sleeping, which I never complain about. I don't complain about that. I don't have a problem with it. But to suggest that caretaker burnout is part of the issue here, when these things that you pointed out as problems, that we didn't get her a wheelchair when you first indicated that she should have a wheelchair, but instead something like a few days later, and that we didn't wrap her foot immediately like you suggested, but rather my dad, being bipolar, took her to the doctor and let the doctor tell him what we should have known already. But it didn't happen instantly, but we were certainly on top of it. Would you have any suggestion at all that anybody around here is not doing the best as far as caregiving goes?
I mean, I'm not a good caretaker.
Okay, but nobody's asking you to be. I mean, me or my dad. Are you critiquing us?
No. I'm just saying that I didn't feel like I was heard when I said that her foot should be wrapped.
Okay, but was it not, in fact, wrapped within a few days of you saying that?
Yeah, but before that, it was aloed and other stuff. And I just didn't understand why you couldn't just hear me out and say, oh, no, it's not just a little blister. She does see that it's a problem. And
okay, Rachel, I to be honest, I don't even remember you telling me that, but I'm assuming you did, and that's fine. And at the moment, I either wasn't much paying attention to you, or possibly I disagreed with you. If I did disagree with you, I turned out to be wrong. That doesn't mean you weren't heard. It doesn't mean I didn't listen to you necessarily. I might not have in that instance. I don't recall. But what I'm telling you, Rachel, is say you're not feeling heard. What that means is people are not allowing you to be heard, right? They are suppressing your expression. They are using ontological violence against you.
No, I wouldn't say ontological violence.
See, look, what I'm saying is this. No, Lily's the one who noticed it. We don't know exactly when it arose. Lily noticed it, brought it to my dad's attention. He brought it to my attention. My dad and I guess Rachel was there too. I don't recall this instance, but when she talked about this, but we fussed at it. I suggested something. My dad didn't want to do that. He suggested something else. He ignored me, but he heard me. He just disagreed with me, and he has the decision-making authority. So that's that. Turned out, I don't know if either of us were right. Maybe Rachel was right. But Rachel was not heard. There's no circumstance around here, Rachel, where you're not heard. We hear you, and it doesn't mean we will always do what you say. Okay. And if in fact the outcome you wanted occurred just within a couple of days, then what is the problem?
The truth is that I actually do have feelings for you. It's just I am used to. Here's what I'm used to. I'm used to dating someone and you see their family maybe 3 times a week. See them 3 times a week. I see your parents every day. It's a different situation.
That's
and
true.
I'm not used to that.
And that's fair. I mean, look, if this situation is untenable to you because, I'm a 50-year-old man living in the back house of my parents' house, I understand that and have to respect that. That's fine. But I would like to know, it's like, Lisa Garcia, if it's wrong of us to do it on YouTube, it's doubly wrong of you to watch. So go away.
It's kind of similar to Everybody Loves Raymond. I do feel that way sometimes.
I do everything on YouTube. I'm a transparent public figure who's honest and vulnerable on my YouTube channel. If that bothers you, Lisa, then go away.
I do love him.
I prefer to hash things out in this medium, actually, because I think it makes me more reasonable. I think it makes my partner more reasonable. We're trying to be fair to each other and to display to other people that we're fair.
And that it's real too. Like that this stuff happens between couples. Like it's not all rosy. It can be, but it isn't always.
Zaylam Aswad, you obviously have a problem with women. That's what I can say. It's like the reality is something more like Rachel's scared. But but that's no Lisa Garcia, remember? You forgot. Oh, I'll remind you. There you go. Remember to go away? I'm talking about a real life actual problem. And fucking some troll who calls himself Lisa Garcia comes in here and wants to shit on me. Fuck off, motherfucker. Next time you say a goddamn word, I'm hiding you from the channel entirely.
I don't know if I don't think it means that someone from LA can't be with someone from New York. It's just, I don't know what to say.
Well, how long have you felt this way?
It's been increasing over the past, I don't want to talk about it.
Why not?
Because it's like, I feel like if I say that sometimes it is difficult for me to be around people so much that it's like I can't say that. I don't. It's difficult. I enjoy your parents. That's why I spend so much time with them. But I'm realizing that it's even a lot for me. I don't like seeing your mom upset, and I get emotional seeing other people's emotions.
I'm here until the end of my mom's life to help with my mom. If that's too intense for Rachel, I have no choice but to simply understand that and accept that. Zayla Swad. What a fucking retard. I mean, you don't seem to understand. This is the first time I've lived at home in a long ass time. And the primary reason I'm here is to help take care of my mom, who's going to die within a year. I have had a long, successful career as a debate coach. I've been the director of probably the single best middle school debate program in the country, at least 4 or 5 years running. Maybe second best, maybe third on a couple of those years. Objectively, I went and opened offices in Shanghai and Wuxidong as well. Oh, not an office. I ran a tournament in Wuxidong. Sorry. I've been married, raised a child in my own home in Temple City I didn't own the home, but, from birth until she moved out. Lived in that place for 20 years. I moved in with Kimberly. Rachel's problem is not that I'm not an independent man.
No.
I'm more of an independent man than you will ever be in your life. I'm the most independent person you're going to ever possibly encounter. Independent thinker. I am independent at the moment. I'm operating within the family's estate framework. I'm getting money from my dad, but the reason is I'm on call 24 hours a day. If Rachel doesn't want to live in that situation, I understand that. I have no choice but to understand that. But Zayla the SWAT, don't project your own masculinity issues on me. I have none. As Rachel has indicated to me many times.
Yeah, it's not masculinity at all. It has nothing to do with it. It's everything.
At this point, I don't even have the slightest insecurity about it anymore, frankly. Kimberly tried to hammer on my masculinity to create insecurities where there had not really previously been any. She sort of succeeded temporarily, I guess, but no, my masculinity is not any question. Like people like Zayla the SWAT come around here and I just slap them around the room. I mean, I didn't even have to break a sweat. He comes onto my YouTube channel in the live chat to tell me I'm not an independent man enough. Well, then you're participating in the live chat as someone who's not an independent man enough. What does that make you?
What Zaylan is saying is right. It is a lot of that. Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. Not a few hours, but I do like. I said that, I accept, you know, Eric's dad's apologies, and I accept that, being a part with him is a part of the family. But they have to accept that I would need a couple of days to be away from them, just so that I could just be myself. I don't.
Right. Of course, note, nobody's pushing against her resistance. So when she indicates that she doesn't want to do something, I always just say, do what you feel like. You're not going to do anything.
Yeah, I mean, I've been thinking about getting my own job. Actually, it's a possibility, but that's only something that I was thinking about. I have not come to a conclusion about. I don't feel lack of. I mean, I guess I feel a lack of control over myself, maybe a little bit. Like, I feel like I get rushed, and I know that's what I do. I rush myself. I haven't been vocalizing enough. That's my problem.
Okay, Zaylen Black. Self-expectation, what you call self-expectations, are actually called choices. Nobody's overwhelming Rachel's individuality at all. She's afforded all the space she requests or needs or wants. She has fewer responsibilities than just about anybody I can think of, and is showered in love and affection by me.
Congrats, Angantyr.
Pretty much continually.
Does Angantyr have a crush on or? Yeah, it's kind of like that. Like, it's like if I say no to dinner, I'm afraid of judgment.
Okay. So let's say you did have to eat dinner with the family every night. Remembering that you have to look at every relationship as a package of value, things that you get out of it, and cost, things that you have to give to the end. And remembering that one of the alternatives is to be single and not be in any relationship, in which case you wouldn't have any costs, but you also wouldn't have any benefits. So you have to determine then, I guess, if this relationship is inadequate because it's a net negative.
Oh my God, did Angantyr say that it was going to not work out?
No, Angantyr said he got a new job.
Oh. I don't want to eat meat anymore. I'm so sick of. Like, here's the thing.
That's possible, Salem Aswad. See, that one is not an attack on me.
Yeah, I don't really want to take care. I was never looking to take care of my parents either. Like, I'm not a caretaker.
Keep in mind, everybody, she's not asked to do any caretaking.
Okay, so you're right. You're right. I don't know. What I'm trying to express is that I just don't want to know. It depends on the conversation at the table. Do I even have to talk at the table? Like, if I had to be at the same table every night?
Nobody's telling you have to talk at the table.
But
you don't have to be at the same table every night. What happened today? You were fussy. I told my dad Rachel's fussy. She doesn't want to, don't worry about us for dinner. I mean, this is the thing, Rachel. The words you're saying, if they were true, they might be good reasons for you to leave a relationship.
So I'm thinking that's why I'm thinking it possibly is, because I wanted to be with you. I did not realize the responsibility.
No, but
of
Rachel,
taking care of
again,
family.
what are you not actually being asked to do
To join the stuff that your family does.
to take care of anybody?
Okay, so then
to
I'm
do
not
practically
going to.
anything.
All right, so then I'm not going to.
Wait. So, but now there's a problem, right? Because you responded to a problem that you thought might arise that didn't exist by telling me, well, good enough reason to throw you away. So what do we do with that? No, we had a terrible holiday. We had a great holiday until the last couple hours of it. And last night we had I fucked up and made a couple mistakes and making a decision about an outing.
We were in the mountains and he didn't make me. I said, I'm not an ESTP. I don't want to drive. And then I was like looking at the cliff that we were at. And I was like, I don't want to learn how to. I was like, I'm going to drive us off the cliff. And you're like, no, you could do it. And I was like, okay.
I said, okay, let's switch back. And you said no.
And then I aced it.
Yeah, you did great.
Yeah, in the fucking snow. Because it was like a test or something.
I wasn't testing you.
It felt like it.
But what did I say or do to make you conclude that?
Because I told you, first of all, we were driving when I didn't have my seatbelt on. And then I was like, I couldn't take it anymore. I was like, I stepped on the brake. We stopped. We were arguing during that time. And then I can't
take it without my seatbelt on. And you put your seatbelt on.
Yes.
How's that my fault?
You were like, good. I can't take the dinging.
Right. I agree with you. The dinging's annoying.
Yeah. And I don't want to drive in the fucking snow on a mountainside which I don't know where I am.
Okay. So say no.
Well, I did. And then you know what?
When?
You didn't hear me. So then I was like, you know
when
what?
When did you say no?
You know what? I actually didn't say explicitly no. You're right. But I did say that I pointed to the edge of that. I was like, we're going to.
No, Rachel is not an ESTP. Okay, Rachel, listen. I've already acknowledged that I was being a little slow last night in reading you, that I was a little dense, that I made some poor decisions. I've apologized for those things. I've acknowledged that it was my fault. And I've resolved not to do anything like that again to learn from it.
You're right, but I wanted that part of the story to be told because that's why. Like, it was hard for me to be in the car with you.
Okay, so great. So here's the reality. What did you say to me the entire drive up there?
It was a great trip.
But what were your words to me?
That I had never had a better trip than this. It was great. I wouldn't.
Thank you so much for bringing me so beautiful, so romantic,
happy.
all this stuff.
And then it was shit on the way down.
You're right. I got really car sick. I never put us at any risk, but I do understand that I drove a little faster than you would have felt comfortable with, and you were scared on a couple of occasions. I'm sorry for that as well.
You know what? You're right. I should have absolutely said, absolutely no. Are you lunatic for making me?
Except you were in full agreement with me until you weren't.
You stopped the goddamn car because you thought it was a great idea.
Rachel, but you were in full agreement with me until your mood changed, and then you weren't. So I made a mistake. You were in full agreement with me on that mistake, too, right?
By doing it, yeah.
Yes, we were both made a mistake together. We both decided to get all the way up there, and then when it's time for a turn and go back, it was all my fault. You were egging me on. It's so beautiful. It's so romantic. It's so perfect.
It was.
So
why would you want to? Why would you want to?
I was wrong. I made a mistake.
What kind of rational sense is that?
I misread the circumstances. It seemed actually quite a safe place to do it because there were no other fucking cars on the road.
Except that we were on a mountainside.
Okay, Rachel, I picked a spot where we had listen, I've already acknowledged that I made a mistake. Don't try to make my mistake bigger than it actually was. And acknowledge the fact that you were in full agreement with me up until that moment. It's true.
Yeah, and I did it like a fucking ace.
Yes, Rachel. And you did your very, very best to convince me the whole way up that it was a good idea.
No, I did not the whole way up. We've never talked about it.
Oh my God. Rachel, when you are saying all these positive things to me the whole way up, how am I supposed to interpret that? That this is a bad idea?
Driving learning how to drive stick.
I agree. That was a bad idea.
And I'm forgiving you for that. I'm just not forgetting.
Okay, but Rachel, the point is, I did make a mistake in judgment there. You're right.
Okay. And I forgive you, but I'm just not forgetting. It's part of the story.
Okay, right. It is part of the story that I made a mistake in judgment.
Yeah, and it made it hard for me to trust you on the way drive down because it was crazy. It just felt insane.
We never even slid out at all. Never scraped against the mountain or anything like that. Never was there anything close to an accident. At any fucking point. The whole way up, she was telling me what a great driver I was.
It doesn't matter.
But this is the thing you're breaking up with me over.
No, it's
my parents.
It's a lot.
It's a lot now. It's a lot now.
Yeah, well, yeah, we come after that, and your parents. I don't want to do this anymore. That's it.
Okay. You don't want to do it anymore. Fine. Note that for at least 3 weeks or something prior to yesterday, it was idyllic joy continually.
I mean,
We both were. Zaylan Aswad, that's the thing. She's asking me to do something that I really can't do. She's asking me to once again try to be the one who values the other person when the other person doesn't value me. She's willing to throw me away this easily, then I gotta let her go. You know? No, she knows I didn't do it intentionally then. She knows I'll be careful and learn from it in the future. She acknowledges all this. She just wanted to make sure it was part of the story, which is fair. I did make a mistake last night. No, I wasn't driving angry. I was feeling sick as fuck. I was super car sick. I was kind of in a hurry because I was car sick, but not angry at all. No, it did. It did mess with both of our heads and our moods. But I recognize that's all it was. It's a minor little ding, and otherwise glowing set of data points.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Like
why
one doesn't exist without the other. I mean, it happened. Both things happened, and I really don't want to be maybe around you for a few days. Like I don't want the excitement. I just want to be for a little bit.
Rachel, what excitement am I trying to drag you into all the time?
You know what?
I can't. But the thing is, I don't mind hearing the critiques, but you aren't critiquing me.
Okay, so I get dragged. I don't want. You know what? You're right. There's no reason for me to be upset with you at all. This is perfect. I am living in a place where I don't spend any money on anything. I don't do anything at all. I'm just here for support, and I just don't want to do it anymore. I don't want to support anything. I don't want to support you. I don't want to support your parents. I just want to be.
Okay, fine. So we're breaking up? You're breaking up with me?
What?
I mean, Rachel, that sounds like what you just said, right?
Yeah, fine.
No, I don't.
Yeah.
No,
yeah.
Fine.
Yes.
I'm not asking you to concede that you're breaking up with me. I'm asking you to affirm, yes, I am breaking up with you.
Well, the answer is no.
Why not?
I'm just stating my feelings.
But you started this conversation with maybe you should leave me.
Yeah, it is. I don't know. I don't think I can't take the dynamic anymore.
Becky, I'm done with you, by the way, so you're done. I warned you before. Your spite is no longer tolerated. I'm not jumping the gun. Okay, look, let me go away and let Rachel talk to the audience here for a while. I don't know what anybody expects from me except to, I don't know. Rachel, you talk where I don't interrupt you and let you tell your story the way you want to tell it. Let me go.
I want them to ask me questions, and then I'll answer.
Hopefully they will.
If you guys want any clarification on anything, I'm willing to answer any questions that you have. I have been feeling very like a lot around people lately, and it's not my natural state to be around a lot of people, especially a lot of extroverts who talk about sensing stuff. I really don't want to. The truth is, I really do not want to be around his family for a little bit, just a few days. Yeah, I don't know if he does. I just found out that he does get car sick. He told me, I think, 2 weeks ago?
I mentioned getting car sick sometime back.
Yeah.
That's something we discussed a lot. But yeah, I get terribly car sick. And I know from past experience, I get car sick on mountain roads at night, even if I'm driving. Usually, if I'm driving, I don't actually get car sick. It's not being able to see all the way around the corner. Visibility was even lower last night because
crazy.
of the snow.
It was crazy. It was like we were at the end of the earth, like in the edge of the earth.
Going up on the way up.
Yeah.
Shit got ugly because
it's tough, man.
It was tough like because I was feeling awful.
And then I just thought that there was going to be like, we were in altitude. We were definitely in altitude. My ears on the way down popped. That's how high up we were. It was exciting. It was really fun. It really was. It just that
shit went south.
Yeah, shit went south. And I mean, I was afraid. I really thought I was going to die. That's not a fun feeling.
And we didn't even get remotely close to crashing.
Doesn't mean that I wasn't afraid.
That's true. Good point. You win the point.
Like, there were times where I couldn't even see the edge of the road, and I'm like, how is he driving so fast? I can't see. Yeah, it's kind of like that. I want to be away from my own family. Exactly. I don't give my family as much respect. I don't care about. I stay away. We didn't even fight in the car. It was just so intense. We were in a snowstorm on like the edge of a mountain.
At a certain point getting down that hill, I was just trying to get out of the snow part.
Right? Rightfully so, yeah.
So we didn't get stuck in there, so we get to the rain part at least, so that I know we weren't going to be stuck. And then when we get to the rain part, we're pretty close, and I'm car sick as fuck, and just trying to get down the hill.
It was a lot. It was just a lot, and then, his dad. Then we come back, and I have to tell his dad that he's sick, and then his dad's not happy about that. So then he comes in and. He says a bunch of stuff to Eric, and I'm just like, it's okay to be mad at Eric for whatever reason, but say the reason why you're upset, not whatever. Anyway, so it was like, I got into a snow accident before. I'm surprised I'm still alive. It was scary. I was scared. I kept the faith. Like, I definitely was like, we're getting down. Like, I know we're getting down. It was just like, it was a lot of stimulation. And I felt this morning, like, being woken up or whatever, I wasn't really able to, like, maybe recover from it.
I see it as kind of an SE delegation betrayal on my part. Is how you probably view it. You seek somebody to help you get relief from your dominant function with SE. And when I go to facilitate that and then it blows up, you feel as though somehow I betrayed my job of fulfilling your SE safely or happily. But, it's like, she got away from me. I made a mistake.
You did, and that's why I forgive you for it. It was a beautiful night. There was nothing bad about, like, it just was scary. And then I just didn't get to process it. It just was a lot. I was scared. I didn't know, and it's my fault. I should have spoke up more while I was in the car with you and all of it. I should have said more stuff. I should have looked at the weather. I should have. But I didn't care because
I'm not saying you should have done any of those things. I take responsibility for it. You don't deserve any responsibility for any of those things, except for speaking up in some sense. If it's the ones you really want to bash me about, you got to be clear about your position, and you gotta sometimes make sure I'm hearing you. I will hear you if you. Sometimes I might not be paying the right kind of attention. Um, I'm not trying to dismiss you. I'm not trying to ignore your concerns or complaints. I never have.
I know, and I don't think that. I think sometimes even the height, you don't hear me. It's not. I know you don't mean to.
No, I hear fine. You actually don't have very good ear on one ear. Sometimes you mishear me, but usually you ask for clarification. Um, Sometimes I'm not listening. That's just because any.
This is the shit that I want people to know. I have a bad ear. It's a bad ear. Maybe it'll get better, maybe it won't, but it's like the shit that they spew online. It's like you could just wish it away. And you can't.
I don't think you can.
People try to do it all the time.
That doesn't really have anything to do with us, though,
It
does
doesn't. But it's just like.
it? Rachel, here's the thing. It feels to me like you're breaking up with me, and it's like you're upset about something else.
It's just like I can't. It's just like I'm sick of talking about this soulmate stuff. I'm sick of it. It's like why can't just two people get along and then enjoy each other?
So, if that's in fact the case, then why not at some point, if I bring up a conversation topic like that, if I'm the one who brings it up too much or something, I don't know if that's the case, but if it is, why not say, let's talk about something else? Instead of saying what you are saying, which is there's a systemic problem that can't be fixed, and I'm leaving. That's the problem I have with this whole conversation, Rachel, is the things you're talking about are not patterns like you're portraying them as. They are a couple of instances yesterday and maybe the day before. But you're positioning it as this is a regular problem, an ongoing problem. The reality before then was not the actual pattern, that this new instance is the actual pattern. Why is that?
I mean, I don't know. I guess that's a good question. Why do I feel like that? Wait, I do have to think about that. So I'm gonna take over.
Okay. Jalen Maswad, you're misunderstanding what my needs are. My needs are that I don't feel as though I'm immediately disposable. You're saying you get her back in the boat, Eric. I'm saying no. She can climb back in the boat herself.
And I always have.
Yeah. She needs a hug after she feels safe and reassured. I don't feel safe. And I need to feel safe before I have a hug. I'm not the one creating the lack of feelings of safeness here. Listen, Mark, I am in no mood for anybody's critiques. I am trying to have an honest conversation with both Rachel and everybody about the problems I'm having in my relationship.
Yeah, like get an ESTP friend or something. Like it's like I feel like I want to do everything with you, but I feel like I can't.
I'm not asking you to. I know exactly, Noah McFarlane.
You're right. And this boat is sinking.
Okay.
You
So-
never believed in tarot, yet you had me like come here based on that.
I didn't have you do anything, Rachel. Own your own decisions.
You're right. I shouldn't have gone.
Why are you saying that? Just because you're leaving me doesn't mean it was a mistake for you to come.
No, it wasn't. I learned a lot.
Okay. I'm sorry it didn't work out.
Me too.
I'm just gonna have to find somebody who, places some worth on me. This is something I've encountered every time before.
I don't want to.
I can't be that fate wind. She misses her family and she feels like she has no control.
I miss New York. I miss New Yorkers. I miss New Yorkers. I do not like California. People are way fake.
Jalen Black, I did let her be mad. I went and played poker. And then I came back. So, yeah, I know.
Now he's a Californian.
I mean,
and New York actually has shelters for people where they're just establishing like shelters in California right now. They're just establishing them. I don't care about Californians. I do miss New York. It's a great place. You get lost, people tell you where to go. They don't sugarcoat anything.
Yeah, it takes me a while to FI process this.
People piss in the street because they can. They piss on the tower.
Hey, Wind, I'm not preventing Rachel from doing anything. Am I keeping her lock and key,
No.
Rachel? Am I preventing you from doing anything? I mean, I haven't. I haven't been cut.
No, he's making his
Rachel
own decisions.
didn't cheat on me.
No.
God, you're an awful human being.
America has bad air quality. Let's be real.
Well, Timothy O, I mean, it's an NI conflict, actually, because my NI is that I need to know that I'm not disposable at the slightest bump in the road. And her NI is right now telling me that I'm disposable for sure. For the slightest bump in the road. So, yeah, Ryan Harrison, of course I'm shutting down this very difficult situation to process.
But he's also right too. J4YN1. I don't have.
I'm sure it doesn't. That's fair, It's just, she's spent a lot of energy the last few weeks convincing me this wasn't going to happen. Getting me to really actually trust.
I did too.
Yeah. But what's the difference?
Okay, so I'm
not the one leaving you.
You're right. But it's like, I feel like even if it's like you would just stick around forever until it like evaporated into something that you actually had to leave. It's like, I don't know. It's like, It's like
Well,
you
yeah.
hang on.
You're right. You'd have to be a certain amount of toxic before I get rid of you, because I value you, and I value being fair too.
Yeah, well,
And I value being good to people and forgiving them and being decent and all that stuff.
That's easy for me to do.
Okay, well, I guess somebody else will get to enjoy that then. Norma McFarland, I would accept that there's many small events building. But I would say that the small events are things that we're both subject to. We both have a little bit of a struggle with sharing the space. I do my best to be polite, accommodating, and she does too. And is it a little bit of a strain? It is. You know, there are times when I want to be up and on the computer and she's sleeping and I stay in bed longer than I want to or whatever. I know there are times when she doesn't complain about me. I'm not worried about stupid shit like that. Don't get alpha'd on your own channel. I'm not worried about that with Rachel at all. This thing Rachel's into here is not alpha, it's fear based. It's my read on it. I could be wrong, but there's plenty of FI. Problem is there's no FI. There's plenty of FI. A lot of FI.
Maybe it's not.
Maybe too much for Rachel. I don't know.
Maybe it's not the. Yeah, but it's like I don't know. I don't know what FI is even. What is it?
Ryan Harrison says, well, the build-up long predates the two of you being together, right? It sounds like you both had some hard relationships. True. I know I'm not a perfect partner. I make some mistakes, I guess, and I guess it can be hard to live with. You know? I'm not rude. I'm not inconsiderate.
I hate the word.
I'm not angry. I'm not looking to bust your chops about shit. I think I'm a good relationship partner.
You are. I'm not saying you're not.
It's possible that Rachel's just sort of coming to terms with the reality that she doesn't want to be in a relationship, or maybe that this relationship, just like she's saying, the environment is she's not ready to be a part of someone else's family. You know, I get that. I don't think I'm going to date for a while, though. I don't feel like it is the end of Kimberly's relationship at all. You know?
I'm not planning on dating anyone.
I feel disillusioned. But Elizabeth being over. No, that's a bad idea. I wouldn't know. You'd never know.
Being straightforward with each other, I am being straightforward.
Yeah, I think she's being straightforward.
No, it's not elsewhere. I mean, look, California's extremely shallow. I mean, I live with not only Eric, I live with his parents too. And it's like when things get high and intense, like his mom can sense when I'm upset. And then she gets upset. And it gets really emotionally intense for me. And I don't like being around it. That's it. I don't think I can. You're right.
That's not, Rachel, do not tell me I'm right. I'm not
right.
saying that. You're saying, you say, I'm right. I can't be around it. Do not put it on me. Ryan Harrison, I've made mistake after mistake in relationships. Now girls toss me out at the first little bump, no matter how much I've been there for them. It feels terrible, but they just don't get me. Nah, Octavia Silva. Mm-mm. I'm not going to do that. I agree. Rachel, you are being very brave. Live streaming this with me. I appreciate it. And
Yeah, that's what you took for granted.
I didn't take for granted. I came out here and asked you if you wanted
It
to
was a
do it.
mistake. I'm just upset at myself for making a mistake. That's all.
Okay, but hold on a second. I want to go back to this last thing. You said that's what I took for granted. But I didn't take it for granted. I came in here and asked you.
Right. I didn't know what I was getting into.
So this is why my feelings ultimately, you're going to need some time to recover from this one. I think you thought it was a good idea at first.
I did. I loved you all the way.
No, I'm talking about live streaming this.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, first of all, you were right, but I don't think Rachel's accustomed to environments that give her legitimate channels of diplomacy. Then Black, you have it kind of hit it on the head there, maybe.
What?
Okay. All right. Thanks, the
What?
Squad. Basically, she says she doesn't know how to say no, then feel advantage if you don't read her mind. I think that might be an element to it. I don't know. She already had a walk. And then I went away for a couple hours, played poker, give her some more time to think about it. And I'm not trying to push her to a decision actually right now. We're not going anywhere tonight. I'm not going to play. I'm taking the train station right now. I gotta sleep tonight. And, I guess I'll go get her bag from storage in the morning. Say goodbye. I don't want to be the ENFP. I don't want to be with anybody. I can't do it. No paralysis. I think both of you guys want it to work, but you're both into a personal narrative, and the conflict doesn't align with that. What narrative am I into? I'm not sure. Can you explain that? Eric Moore suggests, have you visited her family in New York? If not, do you think it might make a difference to try that?
No. I want to take him to New York. He doesn't have to meet my family. I don't care about that. You guys don't get that. I don't care about people. It's like I don't like being around people too much. It's like all you extroverts don't get it.
Rachel, you act as though I'm asking you to spend a lot of time around a lot of people. You're saying you struggle because you don't have much alone time for living in this little room together. I get that. No problem. I understand that completely.
It's like I don't know what to do anymore. like I've been around a lot of like simulation. Like,
Salem is what I am making her feel safe. To the best of my ability right now. Of course, she can just be left alone at certain times. All she has to do is ask, or go off to this little side yard, or meow. I can go to New York. I didn't say I wasn't going to.
No,
New
he
York.
originally
I
had.
offered to go.
Yeah, he
We were
did.
ready to book a trip.
But I wanted
then we
him to
decided to go to Hawaii
spring.
instead.
Yeah, and I said New York in the spring if we wanted to, because it's nicer in the spring, better weather.
What's not enough? What are you talking about then? You didn't answer my question. Right?
Yeah, extroverts do hate when other people talk.
I don't hate when you talk.
You did say before when you were outside that you don't listen to everything I say. That's okay.
That's true. And you also don't listen to everything I say.
Rachel, tell the truth now. If Eric lived alone and had his own home and regular job, not Eric 24/7, would this be better for you? I don't want to be around people that often. I don't like to be in his house, his parents' house that often. It's a lot. I see them every day. I don't even
I'm
see
not
my.
being asked to compromise at all. So there's no reason to conclude I can't. I'm certainly willing to compromise. I'm not being asked to compromise. I'm being told either I won't compromise, or we can't compromise, or she won't compromise, and that problems that haven't actually manifest yet will be unsolvable. Well, Brian Goss, you're probably right on the money. She's overwhelmed, and now you feel like your heart is being ripped out. I don't know if she's feeling overwhelmed or not, but I certainly do feel as though my heart is being ripped
I
out.
am.
I'm not asking her to make a decision right now. She keeps volunteering statements like, yeah, I guess I should leave.
No, I haven't. But I'm not really. But I don't. Yeah, I think it's like an own. I don't know. Yeah, it is a little uncomfortable because I don't have anywhere to withdraw. I mean, I like the yard and everything, and I do have time to myself. When Eric goes to work, it's just I guess I'm for the first time actually like managing that stuff. Like, I've always lived on my own schedule. I'm not used to having like a schedule with someone.
Because I say, what, Zaylen Black? This is the thing. I keep getting accused of general shit. But when I ask for an example, I don't get one. Yeah, she's leaving. That's the narrative I get. That's the answer I get. When I ask things like, why, I get told reasons that are general reasons that are just not even about me, about what might be, or about somebody else. I don't know. Okay, because you say it, Eric, then she parrots the words. Well, I keep telling her she needs to make a decision, one way or the other. You know. Well, meaning slabs, I'll tell you, because I feel as though my trust has been betrayed, and it takes me a second to get it back. She spent the last few weeks trying to convince me this was not going to happen again. So naturally, it's hard for me to immediately jump into making her feel safe when I'm not the one who made her feel unsafe. She's the one who made me feel unsafe. Possibly. I don't know FSology, but that's a good hypothesis.
I mean, like, I can't even. I mean, it's like been a lot. Like, I come here, I think I'm an ENFJ, and I hate ENFJs, and I'm like, okay, let's write this out. I don't care what type I am. I just like talking to him. I'm gonna come here, and then after typing me more and seeing how I really don't like people who are ENFJs, and more of you getting to know me, it's INFJ, and I see it now. So it's like I'm going through like that stuff, whatever you want to label that as, and I'm in a strange town. It's strange as hell here. How is this city so widespread? And like I'm with new people all the time.
I'm not trying to change with logical arguments and arguing. She's not saying that. She's saying other things. I'm not trying to change anything with logical arguments. I'm saying, here's what I'm experiencing. And if the reality is she doesn't feel good, therefore she actually wants to leave, then that's what you should say. But if she says things like, I don't feel good because you spend too much time herding sheep and I don't actually herd any sheep, then I'm going to point that out.
Wait. Yeah, it doesn't matter what city I am. I want to stay home. But it doesn't matter when you are in a different location. Like, yeah, everything's the same. Like, there's the same stores and stuff, but the attitude's the same. No one walks around here. And the people who do are the ones who don't have money.
Well, not in this neighborhood. A lot of people walk, actually.
Yeah, and they're the ones who they take the bus and stuff.
The ones who walk around in this neighborhood.
Oh, well.
That's true. Well, it is true that a lot of people do walk around here and that they do have money.
But on Huntington, it's like on the main streets, you do see like more people.
Nothing. I'm not. Okay, what Rachel needs to stop doing, I guess, is threatening to break up with me at every problem that arises. But I'm not. It's not. That's not what's happening here. I mean, I'm not saying Rachel has to stop doing something. Rachel's saying she's breaking up with me.
It doesn't feel good. I mean, I'm not saying I have like a huge community like at home either. It's just like
okay, I believe that as a rude. I'm not disputing that's a factor. It's not a bad plan, Elizabeth.
No, it's not that I don't like the people. I said that. Like, I came here. It doesn't matter. None of this is. It's just been a lot. I am overwhelmed. This is overwhelming.
Is she really what? Breaking up with me? I mean, all I have to go on are her words. She kind of goes back and forth. The last thing she said was yes. I don't know. I've had emotional reasons for problems with friends and relationships, but I was either conflict avoidant or I plain old could not articulate how I wanted. Could be what Rachel is feeling or thinking is difficult for her to articulate. Is the end of that sentence, maybe? Could be.
If we were to break up, then I would have to live somewhere else, and I would probably have to stay in shelter for a little bit, and then look on apps and try to get a job and a place. But I'd probably be in a shelter.
Well, words aren't everything. That's true. But they have the power to make me feel unsafe.
I didn't feel safe last night.
You're right. Fortunately, I did everything I could to rebuild safety immediately. I apologized for the wrongdoing. I acknowledged it was my fault. I indicated that I would learn from that and not make that kind of mistake again.
Yeah.
If that's not good enough, then I guess I ruined the relationship by driving safely, but in ways that
I
felt
actually don't
unsafe.
care where any of this goes. I don't care. I feel so like
I
I
did-
don't care at all.
Then, okay, fine, you don't care. I mean, look, but what am I trying to do here? I'm not trying to bash you. You keep giving me reasons to leave me. They don't make any sense to me. Maybe that's just my problem. I don't know. Yeah, Power Red Bull. If someone would threaten to leave multiple times, I'd kick them out. I said that too before this relationship. She's already done it to me multiple times.
Yeah, so it's like, why don't you just do it?
Hambone tends to be, half of me is Power Red Bull and Hambone, what they're saying. And we didn't even come close to crashing, let alone dying. Well, look, the last thing I want anything from this live stream to happen is for people to bash women or bash Rachel or blame Rachel or whatever. I'm actually having this live stream to try to work it out. In the past, it seemed sometimes when I'm talking to somebody, they're more reasonable when we do it on a live stream. Well, no, that's the problem, Ryan Harrison. It's critically important to me that I know what to anticipate for practical reasons. And say on the spot, you're totally projecting your own issues onto me. Sorry, buddy, but you are. You may not feel man enough, but it's insane for you to suggest that the reason Rachel wants to leave me is because she doesn't feel like I'm man enough. That's simply insane. Maybe now is the time where she should go back and reevaluate things. Because I her wife. Maybe. Meaning slabs.
Slabs.
That's what this person's name is here. It's not.
Oh.
I'm not saying it myself. That's the name I'm reading. YJM 1991. My point was what I resolved not to do again, or to remember and learn from, is to not push things too far. Don't take unnecessary risks. The only thing we were at risk at, I thought, and it was a reasonable conclusion to draw, was that we were going to have to spend the night in a motel in the mountains. As a matter of fact, despite driving halfway across the fucking mountains, we never encountered any place we could stay.
So weird.
So, I mean, I fucked up. I don't know what else to tell you. Shit happens. We're at no point where we're in any danger. It may have been scary to Rachel. I'm sorry that it was. I don't mean to scare her. I would not want to scare her. Well, it may have been an association like that. Salem Black says, if she almost had a fatal crash in her past, then last night may have triggered that. Okay,
I mean,
that's possible.
Crazy. This wasn't just. I drive in weather.
I know the weather was crazy.
We were on a mountain.
I agree. The weather was crazy. Like I said, it ended up getting a little sketchy, and I regret that terribly. I wish I hadn't made that mistake. I don't know what else you want me to say about it.
It was an honest mistake. I understand. Like, we didn't plan well. It wasn't like a well thought out thing.
I agree with you.
That's an honest mistake, and I do forgive you for that. Like, I forgive you for that. Like, I don't care.
You keep talking about it as though you don't, though.
I just came back here. And then just talk. We needed some time to speak. by myself and just.
And what did I do? I gave you that time. I went and played poker. Jake Hurwitz says, so you're breaking up? I don't know. I don't know. Chris Chapman says, I see this turning around for no real reason. All I can do have faith in both your and Rachel's goodness. Octavia Silva. I'm not stubborn, Power Red Bull. I'm not being stubborn about anything. The only thing I'm stubborn about is that I not be described counterfactually. So if I ask her, like, well, why, and she says something that is not true, then I'm going to say something like, that's not true. I'm not stubborn about insisting she agreed that that's not true usually, but you might consider it stubborn to not be willing to silently just assent to that, but I'm not going to do that. I agree, Octavia Silva, that alone time away from my household would be a solution. Time heals all wounds, but don't hold on to something that will wound you again. Fate Wind, there's wisdom in what you're saying. I can sustain a fair amount of wounding, but I mean, I guess I got my own thoughts. I got my own thinking to do. I mean, I'm sometimes stubborn. I don't know. The thing I have so much trouble with is I don't know which of these things is the truth. It's like, on one hand, it seems like to me things have been all gravy and roses for weeks. And we had one bad day, and boom, she goes straight to that I'm leaving. But it could be that what would somebody else say here? That she's actually been not very happy and getting decreasingly happy, but just displaying just the same happiness and positivity and stuff. And maybe she was putting up a front for maybe well-intentioned front, but one that fooled me, and so it hasn't been like all roses in one day. But I don't know which of those things is true. You know, it's like if it is in fact that things have been getting progressively worse over the course of weeks, and it was building up, and she finally just blew up about it, then that's a lot more. It's a lot less confusing to me. At least I get that. You know, I've had plenty of people before tell me I'm annoying. I get it. She got annoyed by me or something. I kind of go into relationships assuming it's going to happen sooner or later. But if it really is just like some sort of epiphany last night, then I just don't get it because she seems so happy. She's very convincing about how settled she was on this. Okay, you don't want to talk anymore. Fine.
You can. I just.
Yeah, it's fine. Sleep, fine. As always, do what you want. I gotta go. I gotta go inside and help my dad with my mom. Anyway. I'm not gonna try to jump the gun on this. I'm not going to try to push forward to a quick this definitive severance or something. I'm going to let it play out for a day or two. But, anything in life is going to be sturdy. It has to support a little bit of weight. You have to know that if you accidentally bang into the wall, you're not going to knock the whole fucking house down. Maybe words aren't the best way to know how reliable somebody is, but they're the only things that people say that have meaning. So I don't know what else to look to. The end. Find out tomorrow, I guess, whether we actually broke up or not.